Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Jasim from International Office at Jönköping University. Before we begin, some practical information. This session will be recorded, and later we will put a copy of this feed onto our JU Web and our YouTube channel in next few days. Kindly ask your questions at the Q&A function on Zoom. We will answer all of the questions at the end of this webinar. So today we will discuss and gain insight information on our master's program in production engineering and management. The program has a holistic view of production, including development of the production system and its interaction with the entire product realization process. This program focuses on design and development of production systems, including outlook into manufacturing, reconfigurability strategies, automation, and production engineering. So I will not talk too much about it right now because we have the experts with us in the room. And let's not wait any further and welcome our guests, Assistant Professor Dr. Paraskeva, Assistant Professor Dr. Milad, and Assistant Professor Dr. Gary. Thank you guys for taking time out and appear for this interview, as this will be extremely helpful for our students. So the setup is going to be like an interview setting, and I will be asking some tough questions, and I hope you guys are ready for it.
Yep.
Great. So let's begin with the introductions. And could you briefly share all about yourself, who you are, and what inspired you to teach at the university? Maybe we can begin with Paraskeva.
Yeah, my name is Paraskeva, and I work in the Department for Industrial Product Development, Production and Design here at School of Engineering, Jönköping University. I have a PhD in Production System from Jönköping University from 2019, with focus on industrialization and knowledge integration between product development and production development. So basically how to transfer a new products from product development from the designers' drawing boards to production. So basically different organizational issues related to that. Since I took my PhD, I work as an assistant professor. And I also have this responsibility for the program that we have in focus today, production engineering and management. When it comes to what inspired me to teach at the university, so I think that interactions with students, it's a very important part in that. Being able to share knowledge with the students, it's very inspiring for me. I'm always very proud of my students and try to develop a sort of a community where teachers and students develop knowledge, share ideas, and also create things together.
Wonderful. That's really exciting. And maybe we can ask Milad to also share his introduction.
Yes, thank you, Jasim. Hello, everyone. My name is Milad Ashurpur. I am assistant professor here at the same department as Paraskeva and Gary. My main fields of interest for research and also teaching are additive manufacturing and automation in particular. A background about myself, I did my PhD, well, I graduated in 2017 from University of Brescia in Italy, from mechanical and industrial engineering. And before that, I did my master also there at Politecnico di Milano. So I lived in Italy for a couple of years and did some work experience here and there. But back to your question, Jasim, why did I become involved with the JU? First of all, I was lucky. And then I think when you get your PhD, it's a little bit hard to distance yourself from academia. You always think of the good experiences that you had as a PhD student, and also when you were doing your master and bachelor.
Yeah.
And this kind of environment is fresh, clean. Not that the other ones are dirty, but this one gives you, is constantly giving you fresh ideas, fresh interactions. You're in constant exposure of the different opinions. And then obviously the dynamic nature of doing research and teaching. These are the couple of ideas that I just thought about.
Thank you, Milad, for sharing that. Gary?
Miss Gary Nilsson, and I worked here at the Jönköping University since 2019, and before that I was assistant professor at another university where I also took my PhD in industrial informatics and studied strategic development of maintenance using something called system dynamic simulation and multi-objective optimization. To how knowledge, create knowledge using modeling and simulation in complex problems, such as maintenance dynamics. And that sounds like that's just easy, just fix things when they break. But if you want to avoid things to break down and avoid the prioritize where to invest preventive measures smart, you need very much a knowledge framework and data extraction so that you can actually do that kind of prioritization wisely, because whatever you do today has a consequence not only tomorrow but several years ahead. So you have knock-on effects, and for that applying systems thinking and system dynamics is an appropriate method to evaluate, not predict and know exactly what's going to happen about the future, but to have a better estimate.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. So my next question is, could you tell a bit about the School of Engineering and what makes it unique? So please, guys, feel free, any one of you, to answer this, because I'm not going to direct anyone particularly to answer questions. So feel free, whoever feels like answering from the panel.
But I think I can take that. So School of Engineering, it's a very international school. It's a very welcoming school. I was myself an international student some years ago when I came to study the old version of this program that is in focus today, production engineering and management. And I never in my life before had this experience in being in such a supporting and helping each other environment. School of Engineering is a school that gives you a sort of a community where we help each other, and you feel very welcome at our school. And we are always so proud of our students and their achievements. And it's also School of Engineering is a relatively small school, which gives an advantage in terms of that we know each other, so it's much easier to get a connection, and it's easy also to find your way as a student. We also at School of Engineering work with many small and medium-sized, but also large companies in the region. And so we have many collaboration with our industrial partners with the purpose of education, and also when we do our research.
Great. And maybe perhaps a follow-up question could be, tell about the program you're responsible for. What is production engineering, and why do we have management word in the title?
Yeah, I was actually really fighting for the management word in the title, so I'm lucky that I got the chance to have it there. So the program Production Engineering and Management focuses on design and development of production system through the combination of engineering and management. And that is what is so unique for this program is basically having this combination of engineering and management. And when it comes to engineering, we have courses in development of production system with insights into different production strategies for flexibility, configurability, automation, production technologies such as, for example, additive manufacturing. We also focus on improvements of production system with the help of different simulation tools. And another unique part of the program is this focus that it has on integration of production with other function during the product realization process, because we see that it's very important to have this holistic view when you try to realize a product, because production is one part of it, but how it interacts with other parts during the product realization process, that is a very important part. So we have a lot of focus on that within our program. So our courses have a technical focus, but many of the courses have this management perspective, which means that when it comes to the management part of the program, the management for us means basically preparing the students to organize and also lead different technical development projects and learn to justify and select the right technical production methods and solution into a specific context. So basically, this includes management of a technical development of a production system. So management for us is more of the form of making decisions in a technical development project, understanding what information is required, like when, which technical solution is best suited, for example, for certain product mix to be produced, which production methods are suitable when, and how to use different simulation tools and why we do that. We have also a lot of practical exercises during the program. We also base our courses to a large extent on our research projects. So we try to incorporate lessons learned from different research projects into our master program and education. We also work with many companies and solving real challenges from the industry, where students could basically apply what they have learned in our courses, and we try to find sort of a balance between a theoretical part, learning theories and theoretical work, and also the practical work. And also the final point that I would like to say is about sustainability. So we have a particular course in sustainability in production, but we incorporate or we address sustainability in all our courses, or at least that was the idea when we designed the program, that we have addressed sustainability issues or have the sustainability perspective in all our courses throughout the program. So not only in one particular course, but we try to address that in all the different courses.
Great.
Yeah.
So can any one of you give an example of courses where students can develop skills in simulation modeling and optimization that can help design and improve a production system?
For that, I would like to give the word to perhaps Gary, that could give an example from, we have a course that is called Production Development 2, Virtual Tools and Modeling. So Gary can perhaps give a more detailed example on how he does that in his course.
In that course, the students are introduced to basic production engineering things on how to retrieve data from your equipment and things like that in order to be able to do simulation models over production systems, and enabling doing a lot of exercises where we, for instance, study the management of setup times to increase the flexibility of production systems, or we study different maintenance cultures, how that affect the performance of the production system. Also, we look into value stream mapping and how we can use simulation as a comparison, see how a dynamic study of a production system enhances the ability of the engineer to analyze the production system. And also we include systems thinking and system dynamic simulation as well in that course. So it's a very unique course in that sense. I don't believe many other universities have that in the same course. And we have a nice course book, I cannot show you that now, but where we learn to see that problems not only can be studied on the operational level, but also that working across boundaries, working across knowledge silos, and see what important agents in the system that work in different silos can affect the behavior of the system on a larger scale. So we don't do those kind of simulation studies as well, but we do that within maintenance. So it's a very broad simulation course, one could say, but we also use simulation to understand the concepts of production engineering.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that running these simulations would help you to begin your work at the industry where you are kind of feeling that I already know how to do this.
Absolutely. So I just today actually met some students that applied for a final year project at a global company. And just because of that skills, they got the position and the opportunity to do master thesis work with them.
Wonderful, wonderful. So my next question is, what practical experience do students get during the program? I mean, you have partly answered that, but are there any other practical experiences students get during the education?
Yeah, I will talk about that, but I wanted also to give an example about when we talk about the simulation from another course we have on automation and production technology. So Milad, if you can just add on what we do there as well in your course.
Yes, well, as you know, we had the first run of the course in autumn 2021. And some of the things were in development, but for the next run, for instance, I can say that we have obtained a really nice software to simulate the production environment, and there we are able to work with different settings, with different equipment and interfaces to show and test how different tools can be used to automate certain processes within manufacturing or assembly processes in general. I actually prepared a video or a simulation or iteration. I don't know if we can share it here or.
Yeah, if you would want to, I think you can do that because you're also a co-host. So
yeah, okay.
I think you have the rights to
Sure.
do.
Yes, I can do that. So let me just quickly show this to you, and I hope now you're seeing the correct screen.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so imagine you are in a factory and you want to test a new equipment or certain tools, but you don't necessarily want to invest everything in the beginning because you're not sure if they will be suitable for your purposes. I think a simulation, and I'm now following up on what Gary said, is a very cheap, secure and safe way to test all of these ideas without actually incurring all of the costs. So for instance here, and this is my own setup, you can see that there are some equipment. This robot is just assembling this piston here, and then it is sending it to this conveyor, and then we have the AGV, the different conveyor, and then different assemblies are taking place. So if I just speed up the simulation, we can see that there are certain data that we can get out of this. And for instance, here it is showing the production rate, and this is per 5 production units. This is just a part of the capabilities that this software, or in particular, or any other software that have this capacity can provide us with. And we are going to apply this for the next run of the course. And this is besides the other plans that we have in order to get engaged with the companies, work on their products, on their projects, and have a realistic, real-life experience for the students so they can test it on their own in that capacity.
Thank you so much, Mila, for this example. I think it was really good. When we come back to the practical experience, so we can see that we perhaps succeeded to provide some example of what we do in the different courses. The whole program is designed in a way that the first year we emphasize on giving giving the necessary knowledge, so say to the students a toolbox that they need to do different things later on. And but even though it's designed that the first year is more theoretical, so to say, there are plenty of interactions with different industrial partners in a different variation, so to say. So we have from guest lectures, so inviting industrial representatives to come to us and gives lectures and seminars. We have a study visits where we go to a company and get plant tours, for example, both virtually, but also we go to a company physically. Now, because of the pandemic, has been a bit more towards the virtual side, but we hope to be able to more and more go back to the physical visit, so to say. And there we can discuss with the company some of the challenges that the companies have and how they have perhaps solved them or trying to solve some of their challenges. And we also typically give examples in many of our courses, give assignments which are connected to those study visits, exactly, where the students can have some sort of a mini industry related task when they can reflect on different issues and also relate to theory. And the second year of the program is designed to more where we try to apply what we have learned during the first year, so to say. So we have this large course. I say large because it's a 15 credits course, we call it project course, where our students, together with students from the master program in product design, will form some sort of interdisciplinary teams and solve for real industry problem. So we connect or match a student group, interdisciplinary group, with a company and a company problem. So we are the one who are defining the task and finding the companies. And the students will try to solve with our supervisions, under our supervision, to solve a certain industrial problem. And also the final project work is opportunity for the students they have the chance to do a practical work in a company.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing is, I had my follow-up question was on how the program is designed with industry needs and what is the balance of research and application, but I think you guys have already answered that. So we don't need to go into that. But what about, do we offer any exchange studies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We offer exchange study during semester 3 in our program. We have some requirements as to the exchange studies. For example, the students need to read a course called Industrial Placement in Production Engineering and Management, which is a sort of an internship course carried out in our international campuses in Thailand and Mexico. So if a student chooses to go abroad, so this course, industrial placement course, becomes a compulsory for them. Wow. And also the students need to read some sort that is equivalent to a research methodology and a course in project planning and management. But the students, for example, have the freedom to select a course of their choice, 7.5 credits abroad, within, of course, the frame of the program. And this selection of the courses and planning needs to be coordinated with me as the program responsible.
It sounds excellent that they not only have the option for doing exchange studies, but also the internships in other countries. That's just excellent.
The idea basically is that the students who decide to stay in Sweden, they're provided with this huge project course that I just mentioned, and the one who wants to go abroad, they should have a similar experience. Mm-hmm. So we are trying also to define a task in a company in our international. We work with some partners in Thailand and Mexico, and I think we are trying to expand our international campuses.
That sounds really exciting, actually. So what possible profession roles are there after completing the education for our students?
I'm sorry. So many, as I said, many of the courses address this management perspective, which is actually quite important for finding a job afterwards, because this gives the students ability to lead, become more of a leaders, to lead the development and improvement projects in the production system, because they have this also the management part in their studies. And as a graduate, our students will be hopefully, we hope so, competent engineers with a sustainable and innovative approach to future development projects of complex and digital industries. Our students, for example, can work as a production engineers with different specializations. For example, our students may have work focusing on industrialization projects at large and also small companies, and may work with the improvements and development of production systems. Our graduates, you can also choose, of course, as studying a master, you have this possibility to pursue also an academic career, as you see me, Gary and Milad have chosen this path, so to say. So this is what the master program gives you, an industrial path where you can find a job in the industry, but you can also stay in the academy if that's what you would like to do.
But also I see that with these simulation tools and the experience of going to other countries for working and your, the experience during the courses you're doing, that also enables you to really work for the industry quite strongly, actually.
I would hope so. Now.
I hear a lot of exciting things about field visits and students encouraged to attend conferences, seminars, and workshops, which are organized in cooperation with student associations. How do you think they help? And could you also perhaps give some examples around this?
Well, if you're driving an active student, there are many possibilities. We have an active student core called High Tech, and they work with us and JTH to develop our education. So we all the time develop ourselves in the way we teach, and also incorporate inputs from the students when we develop our courses. We have activities which help students to find industrial partners, for example, to find a company to write your final thesis, and also help you later perhaps to find a job. Such activities as, for example, Karrierum, which is a fair which is organized by school, where the students can meet different companies, and hopefully there will be a match between the students' abilities and what the company searches, and then the students can do their final thesis. For example, there is also ELMIA, the biggest industrial fair. So each year ELMIA organizes a fair in automation, subcontractor, senior, where students have also opportunity to meet different companies and industrial partners and see what are their needs.
Excellent.
And, and if you have an ideas as a student, if you're very innovative, and you like to start up something, we have a science park, and to collaborate with our students, and they help also to realize if you have good ideas.
So finally, lastly, we have a great community of alumni who have achieved high goals and set great examples for JU. Could you give some examples around this?
I could give a bit of examples, I would say, from the old version of the production master, because we updated our master program, production engineering management, and that program has been only 1 year and now for the first time, so we don't have alumni yet. We will have next year. But I have been a program manager for the old version of this program in master in production, and our alumni and our students that have finished our programs are always welcome to come back to us and work with us further. We always work to, of course, to develop our alumni network. We have this LinkedIn for JTH. We have, as I said, we have revised and further developed the old production program, and we are working right now to see how to further develop the alumni network for the next coming year. So how to organize around that. And I can give you also successful stories for the old production program where our students have found jobs as, for example, junior project manager or junior test engineer in a company in the Jönköping region. And I want to emphasize that that's very important for us. We want to have a alumni network in our region. We want our students to stay to stay in the region, and that will also help us for the future to become stronger, the school and our region companies, when we have students that work in companies that are close to us.
Help local industries to prosper.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for this wonderful interview. I think it was really helpful for our students. It was really helpful for me as well, just to learn a lot of new things. Now I would open the panel for people to who have joined us to open and ask their questions. So guys, please remember, take your questions on Q&A session, Q&A function, and I will read the questions from there. And yeah. So let's see if we have, we have one question from, this is about accommodation. This webinar is not about accommodation. We will have a separate webinar coming in March for accommodation. So please tune in for the information for that. And we will soon have that information on the web.
Yeah, we would like to answer more questions, perhaps related to the not the practicalities around coming in Sweden and Jönköping, but mostly focus on the program itself. So that perhaps could help you with us answering your questions, can help you to decide if this program is a good match for you. Is this what you want to pursue in the future? Because you spent 2 years with us, so it's important that you're sure in your choice.
So we have a comment from Cyril Edihu saying that it was great insight into the program. Thank you for that. And thank you for joining in. From Faraj Rashidi to all, let's see, I need to, I think you guys are still typing in the chat. Kindly please ask your questions in the Q&A function. It's much easier for me to answer them there. Is there any opportunity that elective courses have more variety? Sarah is asking, is there any opportunity that elective courses have more variety?
Elective courses more variety. We have, when you mean elective courses, so we have in semester 2 in period in period 3, for example, I have in front of me the list with the different courses that are. Then you can choose mathematical statistic for the ones who, if you have not, because we accept students that perhaps do not have enough credits in mathematics, then if that's the case, then you need to take the course in mathematics. Then if you have enough credits, so 21 credits in mathematics, then you can perhaps take the course in product and production platforms. And right now I also work in additional course on digitalization and industrialization. That perhaps will be included as a selective course within the program. In year 2, there is also opportunity to select either advanced cut, if you have study basic cut, or sustainable production. So there is a lot of variety. Sorry, variety of the courses. But when it comes to if you study in Sweden, then you need to we give you the opportunity to select some courses, but it needs to be in the courses that we have predefined for you.
We have another question.
Answer the question.
Yeah, thanks, Paraskeva. We have another question. Is it very mathematical? is it a very mathematical program? So one of the attendees is asking about that. What can they expect about the mathematics?
I don't know if it's very mathematical. I wouldn't say it is very mathematical. I don't know how to define this very mathematical.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that, as I said, if there is this mathematical department that looks at your how much mathematics and statistics you have read before during your bachelor's, and if you have enough of that, then you can proceed
exactly
further.
Yeah.
And most of the courses, I wouldn't say that they are that mathematical, so to say.
Yeah. So there is another question we have. He said it's from Abdul Wahab. He's asking, he has applied for the program, and he's asking during the third semester, does the university or program managers help to get the internship, or can you do courses for that matter, or you can only do courses for that matter?
Can I see this question, because I'm not so sure I understood the question.
So he's basically asking, I mean, do students get help for getting internship, to finding internship during the third semester? And if it doesn't happen so, can they only do courses then in that case?
We do organize this project course that I mentioned on several occasions already when we presented. It is us from the School of Engineering that organizes the tasks for the students, so the students do not need to search a company or a task. The only thing that we ask is that the students are active and ambitious and try to help solve an industrial problem. But it is us that stands for finding a company and a task. It was, as the student says, in the old program, but this is not anymore how we do in the new version of the program. We would like to help our students, and that's why we decided to help and find appropriate projects in the companies for the student. And when they go also internship abroad in Thailand and Mexico, as I mentioned, it's also us that finds this internship.
Exactly.
So to say, the only thing that the students need to do is to find their final project work.
Yeah, super. So I think let's see if we have any new questions coming in. I don't see any new questions, so perhaps yeah, I think it's loud and clear, and it seems like we have covered all the bases, and I can just check. Yeah, great. So I think we could wrap it up because I don't see any new questions coming in. And thank you everyone for joining in.
I just see some questions in the chat. Someone has asked, I have a bachelor in civil engineering and just apply for the production engineering manager. Is that okay? Yes, it is okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have an expired, let's test.
Yeah, that is, yeah, okay, so I see that question. I can perhaps answer that. I think when it comes to expired IELTS, it can still work. By the way, we have an admissions related webinar, which is already on our web and also on our YouTube channel. So you can tune into that webinar and learn everything around admissions. And then we also speak about these things in that webinar. But just for a fast information that if your IELTS is expired, I think we can still take in because we can still somehow verify that with the center. Thanks for asking that. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. And it was a pleasure having you, Paraskeva, Milad, and Gary. And it was also a pleasure to host all the other students who joined us today. Thank you, everyone. And just remember that we are going to have the copy, which will be saved on our YouTube channel and also on our web. So you can always tune in later on to watch this or share this with your friends. And hope to see you joining the program in August. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Hope
you.
to see you all guys in August.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All the best.
Bye-bye.